Senate Resolution 100 by Alvarado-Gil, relative to breaking the Silence Day of Awareness.
Senator.
Thank you, Madam President. Today I rise as the author of SR 100, recognizing April 16th, 2026, as Breaking the Silence Day of Awareness in California. April is recognized across the nation as Child Abuse Awareness Month, or Prevention Month, and a time when we reaffirm our shared responsibility to protect the children and support families. Yet child sexual abuse continues to affect far too many children in ways that often remain hidden from public view. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys in the United States experience sexual abuse at some point during their childhood. Many survivors never report their abuse due to fear, stigma, pressure from abusers, or lack of safe reporting channels. The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAIN, estimates that only a fraction of cases are ever reported to authorities. Tragically, abuse frequently occurs at the hands of individuals known to the child. More than 90% of victims know their abuser, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Incest and intrafamilial abuse carry unique barriers of secrecy and coercion, leading to long-lasting impacts on mental health, including increased risk of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress. California stands strong in its response. Now, breaking the silence is also about breaking the cycle. For the past few years, I've been very forthcoming about my experience as a victim of childhood abuse. And I want to share that however long it takes to break that silence, there is no time clock for the impact of trauma from that abuse. There's no right or wrong time to report that abuse, because it's an individual choice of when you're ready to break that silence. And the message that I want to share is that we, as a legislature, welcome that opportunity for everyone to tell their story. Again, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 13 boys. I also want to share the message that what you see on the outside often masks what's in the inside when childhood trauma is present. Now, I blamed my mother for so many years about not protecting me. I blamed my mother for so many years of causing our family to break and for me to go into foster care. But I have a message for those mothers, because I've soon forgiven her and want to share that regardless of whether you are a victim of abuse, a member of the family, or did everything in your adult power to break the silence and to break the cycle, that you are forgiven and that you are loved. This is an epidemic in American households, an epidemic where, regardless of tradition, culture, religion, race, ethnicity, class, we are all susceptible to the impact of childhood abuse. Now, I don't have a relationship with my mother anymore, and I hope that for her wellness and for the wellness of every mother, auntie, grandma, sister, family member that has endured this impact of childhood abuse, know that you're forgiven and that you are loved. I want to thank our mandated reporters, our teachers, our medical professionals, and social workers that serve as our first-line defense under the Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act and are protected by legal immunity so that they can act without fear. Law enforcement agencies bring specialized training to investigations of familial rape, incest, and human trafficking, while children's advocacy centers provide multidisciplinary trauma-informed support and prioritize the children's safety and well-being. I want to thank once again Mrs. Muka, who God rest her soul, who was that brave 8th grade English teacher who reported my abuse. And I want to thank the City of Mountain View's police department, those brave men and women who probably carry still the trauma of being able to rescue me from that cycle of abuse. I want to thank them, even though here we are almost 35, 45 years later, and there's still that impact. Just this last weekend, I was invited to a memorial of a childhood friend that had passed to breast cancer. And I was asked to bring a photograph of our time together as children. And it reignited that trauma deep inside. And it only reminded me that even though decades have gone past, those childhood trauma scars that our children, our youth, and our adults and our seniors carry still have a little flicker of pain. Now, I wasn't able to attend that memorial because I still had not been able to process the image that I saw in that photograph. And that's why it's so important that Breaking the Silence Day impacts everybody in this room, and that we share that despite the real progress that we make as individuals, despite the real progress that we make as communities, that we must continue to address the complexities of intrafamiliar crimes and expand mandated reporter training across all sectors. Increasing public understanding, reducing stigma, and encouraging open dialogue are essential to breaking the silence, supporting survivors, and preventing abuse before it even occurs. Communities and schools and health professionals and public agencies all play a vital role in creating environments where children feel safe and heard. California's children and families deserve our unwavering commitment to prevention, early intervention, and survivor support. We must come together as lawmakers and families, educators, providers, and communities to raise awareness and to make it okay. Foster informed dialogue, ensure that every child is protected, even if the child inside of them is now an adult on the outside. No excuses, no halfway measures. The vulnerable population must have the resources, recognition, and safety they need right now and for the long term. I urge my colleagues to join us in voting aye on SCR 100 and proclaiming April 16th, 2026 as Breaking the Silence Day of Awareness here in California, committing to stronger efforts and affirming the dignity, safety, and healing of every survivor. Thank you.